the Very Best Stories News Studios. I'm Madeline Brunvand, and we're glad to have you joining us again today. We have another great day planned for you, so let's get right to it with some more songs from the virtual VBS band. If you submitted some B-roll footage to be used in our music videos, keep an eye out as you might see yourself. Let's start it off with I Believe. I believe it's time for another song. Put your walking shoes on because next up is Step by Step.
Oh God, you are my God, and I will ever praise you. Oh God, you are my God, and I will ever praise you. I will seek you in the morning, and I will learn to walk in your ways, and step by step you'll lead me, and I will follow you all of my days. Oh God, you are my God, and I will ever praise you. Oh God, you are my God, and I will ever praise you. I will seek you in the morning, and I will learn to walk in your ways, and step by step you'll lead me, and I will follow you all of my days, and I will follow you all of my days, and I will follow you all of my days, and step by step you'll lead me, and I will follow you all of my days. Oh God, you are my God, and I will ever praise you. Oh God, you are my God, and I will ever praise you.
Thanks again to the awesome members of the virtual VBS band for helping us get started this morning. I feel like one of the singers looked very familiar to me, but I can't remember where I've seen her before. Well, anyway, let's check in with our VBS weatherman, Wilbur Weathersby. Wilbur, what's the forecast for today?
Appears to be cloudy with a chance of meatballs. I'm just kidding. I've always wanted to say that. Actually, it's a rather blustery day, Madeline. There's a cold north wind blowing in from... Well, it's blowing in from the north, of course. And wow! There goes my hat! That was one of my favorite hats. I'm gonna go try to fetch it. Okay, so this is Wilbur Weathersby reminding you that there's no such thing as bad weather, just different kinds of good weather. Now, where's my hat?
Oh, blow me down, Wilbur. I was half expecting to see Toto and the Tin Man go flying by. I hope you find your hat. We sure could use a break from this stormy weather. Next, let's see what Christine Rushlow, our VBS field correspondent, has to tell us about today's Bible message.
Oh, hi. Sorry, Madeline. I just am so excited to share today's Bible story with you. It completely makes me think of my favorite song, Brave, by Sarah Bareilles. Today's story just talks about courage and courage through the storm. We're going to read today about 3 believers who found the courage through God to stand up to a king. All right, today's story is about when God saves Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego from the furnace. This is found again in my children's Bible, and you could read along with us with Daniel chapter 3. The king had made a gold statue that was 90 feet tall and 9 feet wide. He had one of his men go out and tell the people, "Listen to the king's command. When you hear the sound of the musical instruments, bow down to the ground and worship the king's gold statue. Anyone who refuses to obey will be thrown into a blazing furnace." So, at the sound of the music, all the people bowed down and worshiped the gold statue. Everyone except 3 young Jewish men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. When the king heard about this, he was very angry, and he had the 3 brought to him. The king asked them, "Is it true you have refused to worship the gold statue that I have set up? If so, I will give you one more chance, and if you still refuse, I will throw you into a blazing hot furnace." And they answered, "Oh, Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves to you. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God whom we serve is able to save us. He will rescue us from your power. But even if he doesn't, we want to make it clear to you that we will never serve your gods or worship the golden statue you have set up." Nebuchadnezzar became furious, and he told his servants to tie the 3 up and throw them into the furnace. Do you know what happens next? When the king went back to check on Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, he saw 4 men walking around in the fire unharmed. Who do you think was that 4th one? God. You're right. God was with them in the fire. Nebuchadnezzar released the 3 men and was amazed that they didn't even smell like smoke. He said to all the people, "Praise to the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. No other God can save people this way." Courage. How brave those 3 young men were. There are some people that we could look to who are showing bravery right now during the storm. From the beginning of our stay-at-home time, there's been several people who continue to work so that those at home can continue to live. We think about the grocery store workers, the doctors, the nurses, the garbage men. They help us with food and to stay healthy and our everyday necessities. They may be worried that they could get sick, but they have courage that God will keep them safe. What a great example for us. Let's remember when we need courage, we can show belief in God for us in any situation. Okay, it's time for our Bible verse of the day. Today's verse comes from 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love. So let's break it down and see if we can memorize this. For God has not given us a spirit of fear. So the girl's kind of like, no, like I'm afraid. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love. Power and love. All right, you ready? Let's see if we can do it together. Verse challenge. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love. And as I said, that comes from 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. Speaking of love, I absolutely love to hear the music that the VBS band is playing for us remotely. Cannot wait to hear the songs they're going to play today. Back to you, Madeline.
Thanks again, Christine. We'll check back with you again tomorrow morning. Yesterday, our VBS community correspondents, Stein and Linnea, talked with Deacon Paul about the stormy time we are all living in right now. Deacon Paul promised to connect Stein and Linnea with different members of our community to help us learn how we can get through this storm. I'm curious to see who they will be meeting today.
What are you doing?
I just added you on my Find a Friend app so I can see your location at all times. Just to make sure you're safe.
Okay, so where does the app say I am right now?
Let me see. According to this, it says you're sitting right next to me.
And you needed an app to tell you that.
I know, isn't technology amazing?
Speaking of apps, let's check the Deacon Beacon and see if we have any new messages from Deacon Paul.
Yeah, okay, good idea. Let me see if I can pull anything up. Oh, yeah, look, there's a new message. Just came in. It says, good morning, Stein and Linnea. That was so polite. Today, I would like you to talk with some teacher friends of mine. Okay.
You included a link to a room meeting as well. I bet if we join that meeting, we'll be able to connect with the teachers.
Yeah, good idea. Hi, everyone. I'm Stein. This is my daughter, Linnea. We're VBS community correspondents, and it's our job to seek out the very best stories from our community.
Deacon Paul suggested we talk with all of you to learn more about the essential work you're doing as teachers. Can you each take a moment to introduce yourself and tell us what you teach?
Sure, I'll go first. As you guys might recognize, I have been teaching the Bible story through Vacation Bible School, but my full-time job is as a special education teacher in Plymouth Canton schools.
My name is Aline Bowlby, and I teach 9th and 10th grade English language arts at Cambridge High School in Garden City. This is the first time you've seen me.
Excellent.
And hi, everyone. My name is Tiffany Mullins, and I'm a speech and language pathologist, and I work with kids preschool through 5th grade, also in Plymouth Canton.
Excellent. Thanks so much. And Christine, we've been watching your Bible story segments, and they are really awesome.
Thank you so much, Stein. It's been a lot of fun.
Good.
So Deacon Paul wanted us to talk with you so we could learn more about how we can get through this stormy time. So if it's okay, we would like to ask you some questions.
Sure.
First of all, can you talk to us about some of the changes you have had to make over the past several months in order to continue teaching your students?
Whew, I can do that. One of the biggest changes that we've had is trying to teach virtually. Using the computer, trying to learn new programs, that has been very, very difficult. I'm not gonna lie, it has taken a lot of courage for me to try new things, to record myself and to record my lessons for my students. That's been really tough, but I've been so impressed on how well my students are responding. So in the end, it's all been worth it.
Oh, good to hear. So what are some of the things that you've done that have helped to make this transition easier?
Well, some things that I've done to help the transition is I had to make myself a schedule. Since I was at home, I have 3 kids at home, they're doing their school, I'm still trying to do my job, and it just got a little chaotic. So I said, okay, if I'm doing this at home, it's just like I was at work. Here's my work schedule. This is the time I'm doing this. This is the time my kids are going to be doing this. And that helped kind of get a new sense of normal for us at home, as well as for my kids, so that they had something to follow. So it felt more like a routine school day for them as well. And that really, really helped us structure our family, but also my work time and their work time. And that really helped a lot with getting through the day and through figuring out what I'm supposed to be doing and what I'm teaching to who when.
Awesome.
Okay.
What have been some of the biggest challenges for you and your students?
Okay, so challenges, past challenges, really just getting used to this and dealing with COVID and having the courage to hunker down at home, right, with the family while trying to teach kids remotely it's been tricky without seeing kids face to face. So heading into the fall, we're looking at maybe some of the same thing, right? So I'm just trying to think of ways to talk to the kids virtually and try to reach them a little bit better than we probably were prepared for in the spring when all of this went down. I did tell the kids to have courage before. They were really, really down about their grades and things being different, right? A lot of kids were feeling really sad and they didn't know how to deal with their sadness. They didn't know how to deal with what was going on. So courage in that case was really, really, really important to them. And it's going to just be just as important heading into fall. Did that answer the question?
Yeah, thank you very much. So what have been some bright spots or positive things you've experienced as you've been working with students and your colleagues?
Well, I'm not going to lie. I love seeing my students home. Kids have shown me their bedrooms, their pets, their favorite toys, and it has really been awesome to see my kids in their natural environment. I love the relationship that I'm building with my kids and their parents. There's been many times where their parents have reached out to me and have either been concerned about something going on with the computer or with their child's learning or maybe their child's behavior. And it's been nice for us to have that conversation back and forth and to really develop those close relationships that I know are really important to get through times that can be a little stormy.
Right. What advice do you have for your students as they try to navigate the stormy times we are living in?
Well, and I'm sure some other people have some things to add, but when I think about telling you guys about what to do in the future, how do I get through this? How do I have courage in these times that are unknown? We don't know what might happen in the fall, what we're going to be doing. I think of the opposite of courage as fear. Right? And so oftentimes we have to battle fear before we can have courage. And so one of my favorite verses that I always cling to is Psalms 56:3 that says, "When I am afraid, I put my trust in you." And so I have this fear. So when I'm afraid, I have to switch that right over to courage. And how do I do that? By putting my trust in God, by having Him give me the courage to get through. And so that's really what I do. And I encourage people to have a verse or something that they memorize that they can say to themselves, right? That when they're not feeling courageous at that time, they can do this. And how are they going to get through it? Keep telling themselves that. Keep repeating that verse to yourself. Keep reaching out to those who can help you, because we need each other and we need God to help us get through this.
Wow,
That's funny, Tiffany, because my verse is, "Do not be afraid, for I am with you."
Mm-hmm.
That's
That goes in my
You can have the same verse. That's okay.
That's right.
Yep, that's the one. And you're right. It is. It's a little unknown about what school is going to be like in the fall, and I've got a ton of questions. But then I just have to have faith, and I have to pray, and I have to have courage that no matter what it is, I know God will be there with me.
Excellent. Well, we really appreciate your time. This has been very helpful. And we want to wish you the best of the rest of the summer and very good luck with your continued planning for the fall. And thank you for all that you're doing for your students and for the community.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
What a great visit our VBS community correspondents had with an amazing group of teachers. Teachers are just one example of the essential workers who have stepped up to the challenge of working through this stormy time. Here at VBS, we applaud all the essential workers in our community who put the needs of others before their own and continue to provide the services we need to live and thrive. Essential workers definitely remind us that God is good
All the time,
all the time.
God is good.
Now for today's updates and announcements. As a reminder, we are raising money for Starfish Family Services this week. Anything you can do to help Starfish is greatly appreciated. Don't forget to mention VBS 2020 when you donate directly on the Starfish website. Be sure to check your inbox for our daily emails with additional materials and resources, and let us know if you aren't getting these messages. It's not too late to download the Goose Chase app. Just go to www.goosechase.com and then use B5G1B8 as the game code and bump 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 as the password to join our VBS 2020 game once you create your account. Check out the individual music videos and other segments on our VBS 2020 playlist on YouTube so you can sing along with the band whenever you want. And mark your calendars for the Parking Lot Mass and Starfish Drive to Thrive this Friday night, July 31st at Our Lady of Good Counsel at 6 o'clock. A complete list of items we are collecting for the Drive to Thrive will be sent out with our daily email. We are also very excited to have the Scally Brothers join us for a concert as part of the Mass. Now, before we play another video from the amazing virtual VBS band, I would like to introduce the band members to all of you. Carl Lemkuhl was able to join us for a few songs, playing both lead guitar and drums. Gansa Lulika sang along on Bump Bump Bump, and we love that he lent his voice to that crowd favorite. Rebecca Carnes has been leading the dancing and helping you all get active. David Hale plays both acoustic and electric guitar for the band, and Zach Rudolph helps round out the sound on his bass guitar. April Horn keeps the beat on the drums, and Sarah Steck is masterful on the piano. Our singers include the LaForest twins, Maddie and Anna. We also have Catherine Lemkuhl adding her voice to the mix. And finally, my sister Linnea and I round out the singers in the band. Thanks to all the band members for taking the time to record themselves and make this great music available for our virtual VBS. Now let's hear another tune. This song reminds me of the grocery aisles at Kroger. It's called One Way.
Turn to you and you are always there.
have for you on this terrific Tuesday. I'm Madeline Brunvand, and I'm here in the Very Best Stories News Studios, reminding you that while we may not all be in the same boat, we are all sailing through this storm together.